Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to another Google Hangout managed by Matthew. As usual, I'm always experimenting on new stuff, and what we're going to do today again is to look at how we can run webinars using Facebook so that we can actually reach out to more people, friends, colleagues, business partners, and the rest of them. If you're actually looking at expanding your business and you want to use free tools, then I believe this is the best place to start from. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to first and foremost, I do have a guest here. Her name is Aisha. Aisha, say hi to the rest of us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aisha. How are you all doing this evening?
Yeah, so Aisha is actually based in the US and I'm based in Canada, and that actually is one big advantage of using Google Hangouts, which is the ability to reach out to people around the world. And I guess this could be a very excellent tool to leverage if you're looking at growing your business or your reach. So what we're going to do here today basically is to show us how we can combine YouTube and Facebook to make your webinar experience much better. One cool thing to note is that using Facebook for webinars is free. Using YouTube for webinars is also free. So the question is, how can you implement this without actually being too technical? Well, this is going to show us how that is done. So what I'm going to do, and I share it here with me, is that I'm going to show us different methods of how we can broadcast our webinars.
Mm-hmm.
So currently, if you have like 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 100, 1,000 people that you want to connect, one good tool to use would be Facebook, right? And I'm going to show us how we can connect that. It's very straightforward. I'm going to actually share the screen. So I'm going to show you everything that I'm working on. And I'm going to share my screen here. And I'm going to look at Facebook. I believe we can see my Facebook. Actually, see the live webinar
Yeah,
screen on my timeline.
I do see that.
So basically, this is my timeline. Okay, and right here we have uh, a link that has the ebook publishing course. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go straight into the page. This here actually is the webinar, as you can see here. And if I click on play here, what happens is that my webinar will start. And this is basically what you're watching. Okay, so I'm going to stop this to avoid echo. But as you can see here, this is the webinar running, live webinar. So Aisha, do you have any questions about this? Have any comments?
Uh, you, what you just did is that you open up the play button, which now puts what you're actually doing presently onto your timeline. Is that correct?
That's correct. So if you're working from a laptop, or if you're working from a laptop or a desktop, you can actually watch this Hangout directly from your timeline or from another person's timeline.
Very good. This is interesting, Matthew.
Yeah. So this is one method. Now another method is assuming if you have your mobile phone, right? Mobile
I
phone,
do.
and you actually see the same. So what I'm going to do for the sake of our audience, if you see this on your news feed on your phone, if you click on the link to today, what happens is that it will be redirected to another screen, which will actually be similar to this.
Okay.
So you see here, this is what you will see on your tablet, on your iPhone, on your smartphone, and this
Mm-hmm.
again gives us the same webinar, right? Which
And
is
three different locations.
exactly.
Wow.
I am going to refresh this. Okay,
Okay.
all right. And as you can see here, you have my like button. If people like your webinar, they can click on that. That increases
Oh,
your
wow.
you know,
So they can like you as
yeah,
well. That's good.
yeah. And if I click on play again, you will see our discussion. As you can see here,
Yes.
At the bottom of the screen, we have your thoughts. And remember, this is where you want people to add, put in their comments, ask questions.
Yes.
This can also be posted on Facebook.
And then you can respond to their individual questions, and they could be anywhere in the world.
Exactly. Exactly. So this is how cool this is.
This is perfect for getting the word out for your business, reaching people about your product line, about the challenges that your contests that you might be running, anything like that.
Exactly. So this is basically one perfect method of doing this. Okay. And
Very good.
setting it up is very straightforward. Once you have your Google Hangout session, what we just need is just the YouTube code, and that code can be put in a system that I would manage, and you can have your webinars and you can run it.
Okay.
And if you have a Facebook channel, you can actually ask your followers to watch you right on the channel.
Okay.
The options are endless.
Okay.
The options are endless, and
Beautiful. You just have to get your content prepared.
exactly. So what I will briefly do, just for us just to see, is how we can set up our Hangout toolbox. Now this is basically something that will enable you to reach out to people by introducing yourself better. And although we could handle this in another seminar, but one thing this is important is that we can use this.
If you have something else you have to do, Matthew, you can always get back with me.
That's okay. It's okay. So as you can see here, you see my name.
I see your name, yes.
All
and
right.
your photo.
And then you also see, you can put a timeline, like you can put the name of your company. Okay, and if I switch it off and switch it back on, you see my company name right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can do likewise for yourself.
So now this is on display while you're doing the actual webinar, is that correct?
Yeah. So what happens is that before the webinar starts, you could actually set up your lower third, which is your name and the company that you represent.
Right.
When you're starting your
the live portion.
Exactly. You can just like how reporters do on
yes.
CNN. They show the name, and these people get to know you, and you can actually turn it off.
I like that idea. Now, do you get nervous when you get ready to start talking? Because I always get nervous when I start talking in front of people.
Well, you get used to it, right? I mean, over time, you get used to it, and
well, I've gotten used to it because I do teach to the congregation from the Word of God. So, but each time I'm nervous.
Okay, and then secondly too, if you are also looking at maybe putting something else on the screen, nothing stops us from sharing a specific.
Well, let me ask you this question here, because this is how I teach. I'm a note person.
Okay.
So how do you, with this looking right at you and you're talking to a group of people, I follow notes. And so you have to master how to keep looking at the camera and glancing down at your note and keep the flow. So I kind of know how to do that, but I don't want to appear as if I'm totally reading. But I am referring back to keep on track of the subject matter, different portions. So as you go down, you're going down, to each different area, but I'm still communicating out to the group.
Okay, well, one way you could do this, if you're using a webcam, is actually open up Notepad and have it on the side of your computer, because.
Okay.
Yeah, so you could actually have your Notepad document open, or what you do too is actually open up, like, let's say PowerPoint, and have your bullets run up on the screen, right? So something similar to something similar to this. So let me see whether I can get something up quickly.
Okay.
Let me see that. So I have my PowerPoint. I'm going to open up PowerPoint, and I'm going to uh, add my main bullets. And nothing stops you from sharing this PowerPoint with people.
Oh, okay.
So assuming if you have something like live webinar, and then the topic is how to increase traffic on using social media. Okay, and maybe that could be one. And number two could be 5 tips. Okay, and I'm going to run this as a um, screenshot, and I'm now going to go back to. Um, are you with me?
Yes.
Okay.
I was
So basically,
momentarily distracted.
what I can do is to switch to my PowerPoint slideshow and share that.
Okay, now the things that you're doing on that computer, you know how to do. Well, what about me? Because I don't know how to do all that.
No, it's okay. So what you do simply is open up, like before your presentation starts, open
Mm-hmm.
up PowerPoint, right?
Right.
Create a PowerPoint slideshow or your presentation
Mm-hmm.
that would walk that would actually give you uh, information about what you're going to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
and show that to the and you can show that to your audience.
Okay.
Okay, so number one, it hides you from the camera,
Yes.
you know, and number two, it enables your students or your partners or your followers to know where you are at in your delivery.
Yes.
You know, so they know
So
that.
now, when you do it this way, though, do you go back to them and you looking at each other, or you keep it this way?
So what I could do is I could keep it this way until when I'm done, and then I can now switch back to my to the Hangout itself, right?
Yes.
Because here they're they're seeing this screen, they're not seeing me.
Right. This is actually the way I prefer it. I think I would be more effective this way.
And then when you're done showing them this, you can
Right.
really switch back to yourself and
Yes.
it's back to me.
Yes. And now and then we could just, end the webinar at that point. Would that be the point you'd ask them? Do they have any questions or anything, or they put all that underneath for the? How do
Yeah.
you how do you end it off when you come back live like this?
Okay. Yeah. So well, you might prefer people asking questions at the end. You might have people asking questions at the beginning. You might need to get somebody to monitor the questions for you because you'll be actively discussing.
Right.
So
Now, that part right there, with the what you're discussing now, the people that are talking, there you can hear me and I can hear you. They come on Hangouts. We can all hear each other.
no, like if it's projected onto Facebook, they can hear you. You cannot hear them.
Okay.
It's only your guest. Like in this case, you're my guest, so you
Right.
have the freedom to contribute to the webinar directly.
Okay.
But then the point is that if you have more people contributing at the same time, you kill bandwidth. It will take your bandwidth, and your seminar could end horribly.
Your seminar stops working.
No, yeah, well, bandwidth. People, it will get hooked up, and at the end of the whole day, your entire seminar could drag. So to keep order and to keep your seminar or your webinar within this stipulated time,
Right.
people could watch you.
Right.
They can ask their questions,
Right.
and then you can actually look at the questions from your tablet if you have a tablet beside you.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at the questions. A question, you you could say, oh, there's a question from Mr. Joe. He's asking about the benefits of this nice recipe, and here is the answer to the question. Thank you for answering the question. You know,
Right.
thank you for asking the question. You can answer the question and move on.
Right. So
So,
now, with that format right there, I put up the power, well, the PowerPoint or however you put that up, and but it's one, two, three. They're following what I'm talking about.
right.
I would prefer to open up questions afterwards, not before,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
because you've now listened in and you have some questions. And so now, after the presentation of the webinar, I open it up back. You're looking at me, and I'm not looking at you. You see me. I don't see all those people. They just see me.
right.
So now, but now that they see me, now that we're interacting, and if they're in those, like you said, the iPad could have given. Now, how would they do that for the questions if they want to ask me questions and I'm looking at them on the iPad?
Well, you will see the questions. So you will see the questions in the comment section.
Okay.
Okay, so you will see the questions in the comment section. Yeah, you can answer the questions directly if you want.
So that's how I would see it. Okay.
You can decide to answer the questions after the seminar by saying that, look, I couldn't get to all your questions, but after the seminar, I will answer them.
Right. I prefer it that way. I just think that's the better way for me personally.
Yeah, so you can answer a few questions, and you can answer that, look, that the questions are recorded. I am going to answer each question, and I'm going to let you guys know when it's answered. So naturally, when you reply to a question, they will get notified that you answered the question.
When I reply, they'll get it from on their end.
Yeah, that's right.
When they get that reply, I'm not typing or anything, I'm just talking.
Yeah, well, yes. During the live webinar, if you're answering their questions live, yes, you're talking. But in case you can't get to every question, then you could
Later.
later.
Right. Well, that would probably, because you got to keep it within your time frame. So 45 minutes is what I said initially for the webinar.
Right.
Uh, to keep everything within that time frame.
That's right.
So now, to start this off, my first webinar, I just go onto Google Hangouts.
Yeah. So basically, what we do is watch this video, okay? Because it would, the steps are there.
Okay.
Um, the steps that you will not see is just when you go to Google Plus. On the left hand side, you choose Hangouts, and then you will see on top Hangouts on Air. That is what you're going to click.
Right.
When you click on that, you'll get a pop-up that will ask you now to enter the name of your webinar, the description for your webinar,
Mm-hmm.
when the webinar will take place. In fact, for me, I recommend choosing now. So
Okay.
when I click on now, then I can start the broadcast immediately, right?
So now that's at the time that I'm beginning the webinar, this is the steps that I'm taking. I'm going to click now because I'm getting ready to start talking to those that are waiting to hear me.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Do I have that right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So now, if like I said, I don't know why I keep thinking that you have something else to do. I don't know why, but
Sorry.
I said I keep thinking you have something else to do because I hear voices in the background. So if you do have
Yeah.
something, we
Yeah, but
can.
that's fine.
Okay,
So what
we can continue on.
Yeah, so what we can do is let's see how it goes. At least you have an idea of the benefits of this. I'm keeping the links open. I mean, like on the timeline open so that you can watch it afterwards. And if you have any questions, we can talk about it after.
Okay, so now you wanted me to try this out now?
No,
Or-
no, no.
uh,
Watch the replay by clicking the link afterwards. And then,
Okay, now what link am I going to be clicking afterwards?
no, on the timeline. I will send you the timeline.
Okay, got you. Okay. So once
Yeah,
I look at that, I'll see what you and I just did.
exactly.
And that the link that you already sent me earlier, that's a demonstration also of how the webinar works, or that's something you did?
No, that's how it, yeah, everything is there, how it works.
Okay. Well, I'll go over that really good. I think we're going to have to get right back together tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
okay. All right then.
Oh,
So,
thank you so much, Matthew, for your time.
oh, you're welcome.
All right, enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too. Take care.
Hold on now. So I just click on this little phone thing right here.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, thank you again.
Okay, bye.